Hey, welcome, it's Ken from Flowtricks, and this is Performance Month. Today I am going over how to start your first choreography. I think it's really important, and it's probably really daunting to a lot of people that are new, which is, how do you start? How do you break into it? Do you just go into some sort of jam out flow, or do you choreograph? Do you write down every single move? Do you only have it in particular areas? This is where I'm here to help. And today we are going to go through a very simple song, and I'm going to map it out for you to kind of show you an idea for how you can start your first choreography. Now later on it can get a little bit more advanced than what I'm about to show you, but I believe this is probably the best start, especially for chucks. Before I start spouting off a bunch of advice, let me just tell you my experience. I probably have about 400 or 500 shows under my belt now with nunchucks and fire. I've performed anywhere from backyard parties. I've done performances in the Bahamas, Costa Rica, all across the United States. I've done a lot of major music festivals like Wakarusa, Rootwire. I can't think of them right now, but I've done shows with 10,000, 15,000 people watching, and I've learned to get comfortable with it. I've had to deal with a lot of things though, a lot of mistakes, a lot of nerves, and also the question of how to choreograph. When I first started, I had no idea how to make my own choreography, but now I feel very comfortable, and I want to share with you just a very basic way to get through it when you first start out. So first, let's talk about when not to choreograph. Okay, now this is honest to God truth. Sometimes people will choreograph and they will spend a long time working on something, but in the end they look robotic. They'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is not dynamic. You're like a robot, right? So in that way, I mean, you could have it all memorized, and that's great. If you're just going up there as a solo artist, though, if you feel robotic, if you're just putting together moves, scrap it. Just jam out. So what I'm going to go, and then there's one where you have everything mapped out, and that can be extremely amazing if it's on par with the music and you do it just right. But we're not going to go that route either, because that can take months and months and months to hone one song. What I'm going to show you is how to start. And the best way to start is find a song you love. Find a song you love, get a piece of paper and listen to it. Every time the music changes, write down that time. So maybe it starts slow and then it kicks in, boom. Right as soon as it kicks in, that's when something should shift in your nunchucks. And then listen a little bit more, okay? Once you have out all the points where the music has shifted, what I'd like you to do is think of 1 or 2 moves that you want to put at those points. Those moves are going to be the ones that you memorize, okay? So really we're only memorizing about 10 to 15 seconds of choreography, and then for the rest of it, you create limitations or you create styles. For instance, the music's moving slowly, I'm going to do something slow with it. Now I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, I just know that I'm not going to go fast. Or you're going to say, I'm going to have my arm behind my back this time. Or you're going to say, okay, the music picks up a little bit, but I was already doing these patterns, I'm just going to do nothing but throws and more throws and more throws. So in this way, all you have to do is memorize whatever style or limitation you have and just kind of put it through the song. But then at the key point of the song, especially like when the beat drops or when something really big happens, that's when you want to have like a sequence that you have ironed out to a T. Now when you practice this, especially if you're not used to going in rhythm or 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, and I feel like every single new song, it takes me time just to figure out where everything is. But the more you do it, the more you practice it, the more refined and close it will get to each of these pieces, and the happier you'll be with your choreography. It will be on point. Once you reach that point, then you can add modifications and make it more complicated. But when you first start out, stay very simple. Listen to the song, listen to the changes, add a couple parts that are exact, that has like really cool things. Make sure you have a place where you pause and add a stance, and then for the rest of it, just do styles. I'm going to go slow here. I'm going to do, one hand behind the back or whatever. I'm going to close my eyes. Just try not to do the same thing over, and think of it like a movie, okay? So if you're watching a movie, it usually gets more intense, it just keeps going up and up and up. So don't like throw out your best moves at the front and then just drop off and then keep it low-key for the rest of the time, because the energy, you just created this energy and then you just dropped it. So you could start it off like where it kind of starts off pretty strong and then it dips down to kind of pull the audience back, and then you lift it back up until you reach the pinnacle, which should go higher than the initial. That's actually how a lot of movies go, and if you think about it. And in that way, I think you can do the same thing with choreography too, and it will make them excited and happy. Now, I made a little extra for Patreon donors as well, as you'll see me actually go through my own sample choreography. I just threw it together today, so I haven't had much time to practice, but you get to see the raw elements of how I create a choreography as a way to guide you and help you figure out how you can make yours. So if you just want to support flow tricks, I would love it. I mean, every single cent helps, as well as you'll have access to lots of slow motion videos, and you get to see a good example of how this choreography works.